you want your team to represent your community on and off the court?
That is the biggest reason on why I took this job. The one thing that's missing is U of M Dearborn sports. There's never been community support. We're part of this city. We're part of this community too. My goal for U of M Dearborn basketball is for someone's son to tell them, hey, Ba, can we go to the U of M Dearborn game today?
How do your business skills taught you running basketball team?
One of the biggest thing, the word delegation. I'm delegating tasks to other people. It's kind of that same way in business. For me personally, that was a tough thing for me to do because I always felt like, I'm gonna do it the best. When you're doing 15 things, 20 things that need to be done, it's impossible to do all of them the best. And I learned that the hard way. So instilling that confidence in my staff, that all came from business.
What's one piece of advice you share it with your player?
You're a lot better than you think you are. Because I want to instill that confidence to a point where even if a mistake is made, they still remember that, I'm here for a reason. I got to this point playing basketball for a reason. I'm able to wear this jersey for a reason.
Hey guys, and today's episode Beyond the Chair is gonna be with Moe Bazzi and Ali Bazzi. I called him because the main co-host, he couldn't make it, so I think he's the perfect one for Moe because he knows a lot of story about him. First, Moe, congratulations being named U of M Dearborn head coach. What does that mean to you, personally and professionally?
Yeah, thank you for the congratulations. It means everything. We grew up in Dearborn on the east side. Obviously, you're always hearing about U of M Dearborn and people going to U of M Dearborn. So personally, it has a deep personal effect to me because it's, in our backyard. It's something that, we dreamed of as a kid to be able to play there, go there. So being named the head coach it's a dream come true. And, I plan on being the head coach at U of M Dearborn forever. It's not like a stomping ground for me or a stepping stone for me. This is going to be, where I'm going to be forever. And professionally, it's cool, man. It's seeing the support from the community and being able to be the reason why U of M Dearborn is a respected school and athletic program is something that I'm looking forward to. So I'm excited.
Beautiful. What lesson you learned when you was playing taught you to be like a head coach?
So I played a lot of basketball, man. Obviously my brother Ali taught me how to play basketball. I played at Hype with Ali Sayed.
Amazing guy.
Unbelievable guy. And, he taught not only Ali, he taught me. And he taught us, not only how to play basketball, but how to be a man. And that what comes with that is, hard conversations and difficult conversations and, learning that, to be the best at something, you got to really work. So that's been an experience that I learned a lot from. And then, playing at high school, I played at a smaller high school, Star International in Dearborn Heights. Following in my brother's footsteps again was something that only somebody can dream of. And, instead of them retiring his jersey, I was able to wear it. So I learned a lot there, ended up going to college and playing there. So every step that I played, I learned something. And I feel like I've played in enough places where I learned enough to teach people. And that's a dream come true to me. And that's what turned me into coaching, is learning all that, having that all in my mind and wanting to repay that to the next generation.
Beautiful. Let me show you that.
Teef, you know what you're doing, man.
I appreciate you.
You know what you're doing.
I appreciate you.
I just want to jump in here, Teef. First, I appreciate you calling me.
I appreciate you for coming, bro.
I really didn't want it to intrude on Muhammad's experience, because this is all Muhammad's accomplishments and success. But I felt like I felt like I couldn't say no to you.
I appreciate you.
And I figured I'd just amplify Muhammad's accomplishments just because all the success that he's had.
You've seen it all.
And I've seen it first.
So you're gonna be the perfect one here.
Absolutely. And that's the only reason why I came.
I appreciate you.
I really want to focus on him. And I actually had a question for you to start off. You spoke a lot about when it comes to, doing this and it not being a stomping ground.
Yeah.
For the young basketball players out there,
right,
that are trying to get to the collegiate level to play basketball, what is your message to them?
That's a great question. look, you have to. It's not easy to play college basketball, and you know that you played college. It becomes somewhat of a job, and to be good at any job, barber, mechanic, whatever it is,
Yes.
you have to be obsessed with that thing. You have to be obsessed with being the best barber you can be.
100%.
Ali has to be obsessed with his job. A mechanic has to be obsessed at knowing everything about it. It's the same thing with basketball.
You do it from the heart.
You have to do it from the heart. You have to do it because you love it. Faking the love for it will only get you so far.
Yep.
And usually, right. And it's usually not to the college level, right? You wouldn't have your own barbershop, successful small barbershop, if you didn't love doing this.
100%.
Right? So you have to be obsessed with it. And with that comes work. And it comes a lot of hours in the gym and a lot of tears and a lot of crying and a lot of praying to God to make me taller or make me this or make me jump faster. Obviously, those prayers didn't work for me in terms of height, but alhamdulillah, God gave me the ability and gave me the family that instilled hard work and dedication. And I was able to do things that I wanted to do. But you have to be obsessed. If you're not obsessed, the next person in line that is obsessed is going to take your spot right away.
100%. You remind me, what dragged you to basketball growing up in Dearborn Heights?
So it was actually Ali. So Ali was, a lot of people, a lot of our friends and family say that Ali was a better basketball player than me. I don't agree with it.
It's still up for debate.
That's all for debate.
Still up for debate.
But so we lived in East Dearborn, Schaefer and Hemlock, right next to Hemlock Park. We lived, our grandparents lived with us, so it was a full house. In full houses, imagine 3 kids, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, 7 people in a house, and our house was kind of the hot spot, so everybody would come over.
Still is.
It still is, alhamdulillah. You need a way to escape that. So we had a neighbor across the street, his name was Mike. He had a basketball rim. And Ali one day asked him, I was probably 5 or 6 years old. Ali asked him, he said, hey, can I play basketball here? He was a single old man, a very nice guy. And he said, absolutely.
Before I cut you off though, why did we have to go play at Wentz?
Oh, we had to go play. So my grandpa, Allah yarhamah, was a very, very, it was his way or the highway, right? So my dad bought us a beautiful basketball rim. Beautiful. Back in the day, this is 2008, $200 was a lot of money, right? Put it in the backyard. My grandpa didn't like the sound of the ball. So we had to figure something out. So Ali caught up the courage to go and ask Mike if we could play there. He said, yeah. From every summer, from 10 in the morning to 10 at night, until it got dark, Ali was playing. And I would be sitting in the house through the window watching Ali playing. Some of the neighbors cuss you out for dribbling too late at night, right? So seeing him being obsessed with something, obviously as a little brother, you want to do what your older brother does. I didn't realize how good he was until I got a lot older. And I just followed in my brother's footsteps, really. And he played a style of basketball that was flashy. Back in the day, that wasn't allowed. You weren't allowed to, taunt people and talk crap. And, what flopping is when people Ali is the king of flopping. He did it before, the NBA players did it. So I learned all that stuff from him, and just seeing him do that and then seeing the notoriety that he got from it. People, walking up to him, going to Hemlock Park, and they would fight who gets to get Bazzi. I want to do that. I want people to fight over me. Right. So, that's what got me into it really young. And, I started working out with him, and he was teaching me his ways. And it was really that. There was nothing else. My dad played soccer. He didn't play basketball.
I love soccer. I did too.
Yeah. So, and we tried to get into soccer, and it didn't work. It didn't work for us, and he said, just do whatever your brother does. So I was that little brother that he was forced to drag, everywhere. Take your little brother with you. Take your little brother with you. So, alhamdulillah, it worked out.
So I heard you played in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your experience in playing professional in Lebanon?
Yeah. So before Lebanon, I played at Madonna University. It's in Livonia. I played for a year and a half, 2 years. I spoke with an agent. He said, come to Lebanon. Let's play basketball there. I said, whatever, let's do it. I had no family in Lebanon at the time. Never been to Lebanon. We had the conversation with my dad, and my dad said, I'm not going to be the one to stop you from your dream.
Did you speak Arabic
I spoke Arabic because my grandparents lived with us. We weren't allowed to speak English.
Beautiful.
So my dad was very, and growing up, you're like, why do I have to speak, everybody speaks English. Yeah. Thank God he did that because
we didn't have English TV.
We didn't have English TV. It was all, Dish Network, NBC, right?
Speak fluent Arabic.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So, yeah, my dad, he knew what he was doing. But so my dad said, I'm not going to stop you from living your dream. If this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. And I went. I was 19 years old, maybe, in a country that I've never been to before, with no family. But I spoke the language, which made it easier. I'm not going to sit here and say I had the best career in Lebanon. I wish I did. But those are grown men trying to feed their families. I lasted, I think, 3 years there, and COVID ended up happening. And that third year, I started really getting the hang of it, the life, because the lifestyle is different. Completely different. And the basketball is different too. So American and like Asian or overseas basketball is completely different games, different styles of play, more physical. So it took me a while to get used to, but I was able to play at a high level with guys that ex-NBA players, Division I players, guys that had the opportunity to make millions of dollars in America, and they're going there for a vacation and some basketball, making good money, right? So I was able to do that and learn from genius coaches, and I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. Did it happen? Did I have the professional career that I wanted to? No, absolutely not. We strive for the best. I want to be the best player in the league. But I learned so much. And it put me in a position where I was able to meet people that I never thought I'd meet, to make friends that I never thought I'd make, to visit the motherland, right, as they call it, my homeland, yes. And do it while playing basketball. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I actually had a question regarding that. So you spoke a little bit about how it was such an adjustment, right? Like, obviously the lifestyle was different, but also the basketball was different.
Right.
What else did you find challenging when it came to that, besides basketball and the lifestyle? Was it the people?
Right.
Like what stood out to you? Like, man, this is different.
Right.
Maybe it was better than the United States. Maybe it was worse.
Right.
Right. What stood out to you besides those two things?
Yeah, a negative and a positive. So the negative is we grew up very, very tight-knit family. Alhamdulillah, we're still tight-knit family.
Beautiful.
We see our parents 3 times a week. We're all married. All my siblings are married. Me and all my siblings are married. 3 times a week we're at my parents' house. I talk to my parents 3 times a day, both of them. I talk to my brother 3 times a day. I talk to my sister 3 times a day. Time zones kind of mess with that, right? 6 hours in front, and that was probably the biggest adjustment for me. Everything else you kind of push through it, right? That adjustment was the toughest one, and especially when things aren't going your way. That's a difficult conversation to have with people. So that was the biggest negative by far. And I don't want to throw the word around, but it was kind of depressing because, you see everybody living their life, and you're trying to just break through that, that ceiling of like getting into a rotation or getting into, a good situation team-wise, basketball-wise. So that was tough. I think, the positive is, if you want to go and live, you go to Lebanon or you go to your home country. Here, you're working, you're living to work. There, you're living to live. You're enjoying people. You're enjoying.
معلش, what they call الحنية?
بالإنجليزي?
Like
the
making
tightness.
yes.
The tight-knit family.
Yeah.
Or tight-knit of a community.
Yeah.
Like here, it's lust. Over there, all you care about.
Yeah.
Like you very close.
Well, you try to look out for one another.
Yes.
Make sure this guy's good. This guy's okay.
And they're good at making you feel like $1 million there. They show you that love.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up there.
Right. So, you know how it is.
I love it.
I lived in the Hamra. I used to go to Bayrock. It's a restaurant there. The first week I went every day. I'm this new guy, right? But everybody used to talk about Bayrock. I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna try Bayrock. After those first 7 days, they would have the things I would usually order on the table waiting for me every day for 6-7 months. We built that relationship. Here, that don't happen, right? It's like 100%. Very rare it happens, right? So they make you feel like you belong, which helped a lot, but nothing replaces family. And nothing replaces your brother, your mother, your dad, your sister, your wife or fiance at the time. So that was an adjustment, but the life there to live, it's unbelievable.
So you remind me, Lebanon, they usually, I think, the top country in Middle East, like the best team in basketball.
Yeah. It's really good.
So I usually watch them.
Yeah, really good.
They have the best team.
Absolutely.
So you remind me, I have that question. It's really important for what you're gonna do. How do you want your team to represent your community on and off in the court?
So that is the biggest reason on why I took this job. We never had the ability to go to Fortson or Dearborn or Etzel or Crestwood, right? We went to Star. So we kind of got like the outside perspective on how much the community supports those schools. You talk about Fortson football, there's 1,000, 2,000 people in the stands every game. You talk about Dearborn High football or Etzel football or Fortson basketball now, there's hundreds of people in those stands. The one thing that's missing is U of M Dearborn sports. U of M Dearborn doesn't have a football team. We only have a basketball team and other sports, but basketball is the main sport. And there's never been community support for good reason. There was never that outreach to happen to, hey, we're part of this city. We're part of this community too. And that's what I'm going to push. My goal for U of M Dearborn basketball is for someone's son to tell them, hey, Ba, can we go to the U of M Dearborn game today? It's a Saturday at 3:00 and, we're bored. Hey, let's go to Hamas, get a sandwich. Yeah. Let's go to Jabal and get a coffee, and let's go to the U of M Dearborn game.
Beautiful.
That's my goal. That's why I took this job. And obviously there's the goals, of winning games and winning championships and hanging banners. We're going to do that. But my goal is to really have the city rally around this team. And we're doing, we're working on things behind the scenes that are going to make that relationship better. But that's my number one reason for taking this job.
For that one, when you're looking for a new player, what stands out to you?
Look, the biggest thing, there's a lot of answers that everybody says, like cliche stuff. I want the toughest player. I want a guy that is grateful to be wearing that Michigan jersey. I want a guy that, understands that it's an honor to wear this jersey. So that's a big part of it. I want to recruit people that want to play for me and play for the university and represent the university. I also look for guys that take it seriously in terms of studying the game. They watch a lot of basketball. They talk a lot of basketball. They speak the language. They know right from wrong. A lot of people can go to Hemlock Park or Lovegood and just start shooting a basketball. That doesn't mean they're a basketball player. There's a difference between somebody that plays basketball and somebody that's a basketball player. I want basketball players. I want guys that understand it's not okay to be average, right? That's not our pursuit. And if you have the opportunity to come to U of M Dearborn and be an unbelievable talent, and another school, a bigger school, scoops you up and says, hey, we want you to play for me, those are the guys I want. I want guys that are ambitious and want to push everything to the limit and take everything to the moon. Those are the guys I want.
How important is to you building a relationship with the players?
Oh, that's everything to me. These players aren't that much younger than me. I'm 25. They're usually anywhere from 7.
It's too young, bro.
Youngest head coach in the country, by the way.
I'm 25. So they're either 17, 18, 19, or 20. Some of them, end up at 21, 22. I had a player last year, Josh Warren. He was 23 years old. They used to call him Hamu. He's an old guy. And Josh was only 2 years younger than me, or a year and a half younger than me. So that relationship, I speak that same language, right? I speak what they speak. I'm on TikTok like they're on TikTok, right? I do the things that they do. So it's a lot easier to recruit people to a team
100%.
when you speak the language, when you know what's cool and not cool. I'm not giving them trends from the 2000 to 2005. There's no more white tees. It's Lululemon.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot easier to build a relationship with these guys. But the biggest reason why I think I'm able to have relationships with them is because I'm honest with them. I don't tell them what they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear. Right. And that to me, that's a lost art, kind of. People always want to make sure they don't hurt anybody's feelings. If I hurt your feelings, man, it comes from a place of love, and I'm doing it because I want you to be better, not because I'm being, a mean person.
We have a quote, an Arabic quote. بيقول لك go with somebody make you cry, don't go with somebody make you laugh.
Right.
Because the one make you cry, he need to teach you. He want you to be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one he make you laugh, خلاص.
Right.
You guys laughed and he turned his face.
It's kind of like how Dad taught us, right? Like he's gonna tell us the way it is. He's gonna tell us how to do it. Even if we're doing it the right way, he's gonna tell us you're doing it the right way, but there's even a better way to do it, right? Because he wants to better you. He wants to make sure that you're going out into the world and making sure that people aren't looking at you like, look at this guy, doesn't know what he's doing.
100%.
He doesn't want that. He doesn't want his kids to look like that. So I think you're taking that approach, which is great. I did have a question regarding the community.
Wait. Let me. To a lot of these players, I'm that father figure to them, right? Bahal is about 6 years older than me. My dad's like 25 years older than me. And me, my dad, and Ali have an unbelievable relationship. We talk about everything and anything, and it's the greatest thing in the world. But there's times where I have to sit back and be the little brother and listen. Sometimes I have to sit back and be the youngest son and listen. It's kind of that. It's kind of like that with the players. I'm going to joke with you. I'm going to mess with you just like my brother do and my dad do. But when it comes to being serious, you better shut your mouth and listen.
Yep.
God gave you, my dad always said, God gave you 2 ears and one mouth for a reason.
Yep.
Right? So it's kind of that same thing. Right.
All right, going back to the community a little bit, because you kind of touched on getting the community involved. What institutions do you want to incorporate when it comes to the culture with U of M Dearborn basketball? Or what individuals do you want to be involved in changing this community or this culture with U of M Dearborn basketball? Just give me a little bit of an insight on who and how you're going to be able to do it.
Beautiful question, bro.
Yeah, it's not a good question. Look, there's obviously people that we need their support. The first one that comes to mind is Mayor Abdullah Hamoud. I know that he's a U of M Dearborn alumni, which is huge. But he's also somebody that sets trends in this community. And that's what I think gravitated everybody towards him. He's younger. He's got, the charisma. He's got the look. But he's also doing things to change the city for the better. And I think my mindset and his mindset align in regards to wanting to create a better whatever it is. For him, it's a city. For me, it's a basketball program. And having that support would mean everything. So I think individually, that would be my number one that comes to the head right away. But it's the community as a whole, right? It's, from city council members to Wayne County commissioners, to people that are involved in the city, successful businessmen, successful entrepreneurs. There's those names in Dearborn that everybody knows, but nobody really knows what they do. People that, kind of set the trends. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to change a culture. U of M Dearborn these past 4 years hasn't been successful, right? We don't sugarcoat things in Dearborn. We say the way they are. It hasn't been successful. So it's going to take something different to change that. Just how, at one point in time, Dearborn was kind of on the decline. Abdullah Hamoud comes in. Alhamdulillah, it's on its way back up, right? Just like at one time there wasn't trust from the citizens of Dearborn to city council members or to the mayor or whatever it is politics-wise, all of a sudden we're on the up and up. I want that same thing for U of M Dearborn. At one point in time, U of M Dearborn was really good at basketball. Then it went through a phase where it wasn't good at all. Now it's time for us to work our way up, and that's impossible to do without the community. Impossible. And I know I said it before, but I want to say it again. my goal for this team, and as simple as, we want to win championships, we want to hang banners, sure. I want U of M Dearborn to be a destination. Just how all of downtown Dearborn is a destination on a Saturday night, I want Saturday afternoons to be for U of M Dearborn and U of M Dearborn basketball games. We have a plan. We have an itinerary. Hey, this is what we're going to do today, boys. We put it in the group chat. One of those things says, let's go to the U of M Dearborn game.
As a young head coach, 25 years old, I think the youngest head coach in US, who inspire you the most as a coach or a player, and what are you going to do different than them?
That's a good question. I'll give you two answers, one player and one coach. As a player, and obviously other than my brother, the player that I think inspired me the most, and it has nothing to do with who he is as a celebrity, it would be Stephen Curry. And this is why. I'm a LeBron fan, diehard LeBron fan. I think LeBron's the greatest player to ever touch a basketball.
Negative, but okay.
Stephen Curry changed basketball, right? I remember I was in 6th grade. I had a coach by the name of Ali Shajra. I believe he's a pharmacist. And I shot a one-legged three. I shot a three off of one leg. Blew the whistle, made me run, made me do push-ups. We don't do that. I think he went to you and told you, what the heck is your brother doing shooting one-legged threes? All of a sudden, Steph Curry comes around and it's a good shot. A one-legged three is a good shot. He changed the basketball. The three-point shot is something that, you can't live without. If anything, teams revolve their offenses around that, which is what we're going to do. The way he changed basketball, I want to have that impact. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And if I'm going to do it, it's going to happen naturally. I'm not going to try to do it. But what I can focus on is having that same effect Steph Curry had on basketball to U of M Dearborn and how successful its program is. So I know I kind of like twisted the question a little bit, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. The way he changed basketball is the same way I want to change this program. And I think that other schools will be able to replicate what we're going to do. And it's going to take time. And, I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything like that, but we set standards for ourselves. And you set them for your own self. You don't set them for other people. If it's not the highest possible standard, then what are we doing? And I think as a coach, a lot come to mind. I would think the biggest one would probably be Michigan State's head coach, Tom Izzo. The longevity that he's been able to coach at the pace he's been able to coach at. But the biggest thing he does, and it's something that I'm going to focus on, and I do focus on, is going to be retaining all these players and not having players hit the transfer portal, which is a huge thing now. He builds relationships, and they're tough relationships, and it's kind of like that father-son relationship, and I think that's the right way to do it. And so I'm going to replicate that. What am I going to do different? We're going to play a different style of basketball. Nobody has the right way to play. Nobody has the wrong way to play. Everybody has, their own way to play. But the relationships he builds with these guys and holding them accountable, I want to replicate a lot around that.
What do you tell the new recruits that are looking at U of M Dearborn as a basketball program? In addition to the sophomores and juniors and seniors that are coming back to play under you this time directly, what do you tell their families when they're away from their home for 10, 12, 14 hours out of the day, and they're hanging out at U of M Dearborn, going to practice, going to school, and you're basically there?
Right. You
are the eyes and ears of their parents.
Right.
What do you tell their parents?
Well, first, I like to sell that, and I mean this because I lived it. Dearborn itself will keep you in check. There's a lot of people out here. That's what makes Dearborn the greatest city on earth, in my opinion. And everybody looks out for everybody. And nobody lets people, make stupid mistakes. At least the people around you. When I say everybody, talking about your friendships and the older generation and
Your crowd,
your circle, your crowd, right? Dearborn's going to do a good job at making sure your kid is focused. I'm going to also do a good job at making sure your kid's focused because I had unbelievable mentors and role models in my family members, right? And it's a trust factor between me and the player. It's a trust factor between me and the parents. I think the biggest part of it is them understanding your kid is going to be exposed to different things, and it's about the strength up here, you know, that they're able to say no to the bad things and yes to the good things. And you know, it's a constant grind. It's kind of like raising a kid. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring, but what you can do is make sure that you're prepared and the kid's prepared, the student athlete is prepared, so that they're not blindsided or shocked about what's about to come. Have those premeditated answers. Have those, you know, have that muscle memory to be able to say no to dumb things and say yes to unbelievable things. The good thing about me is I recruit guys that are obsessed with basketball. They're in the gym doing their 14, 15 hours a day. So I look at that too. There's a story. Some guy was supposed to get drafted. It was a football player. He said he was supposed to get drafted in the first round, and some guy that was supposed to get drafted in the second round. That team ended up picking the guy that was supposed to get drafted in the second round first. And they asked him, why did you pick, you know, this guy instead of this guy? This guy's better. And he said, both of these guys are going to go out on a Tuesday night. They're going to go to a club, or they're going to go, you know, do something, you know, have fun or whatever. The guy that we didn't pick is going to take 7 guys with him. And that next game, or that Sunday, the guy that we didn't pick is going to play good. But those 6 guys he brought with him are going to play like shit. Or like, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah, like shit. The second guy that we did pick, he's not going to go out at all. He's that 8th guy that said, I'm good. That's what I recruit. I want guys that are going to give guidance to players to say, hey, sometimes these things aren't worth it. We're here to play basketball. We're here to go to school. And that's what I'm pushing for.
Beside basketball, you help build and sell software in Florida.
Yeah.
What was this experience like?
Yeah, so when I came back from Lebanon, I had an opportunity to go and work in an investment company in Florida, me and Ali, my brother. I went to Florida, Ali stayed here. It was a software company. And so, you know, what we're doing really is building a company from the ground up, having a team of salesmen and you know, administrators that kind of keep everything under wraps. And we built a business in 18, 19 months. And we were able to sell it to a venture capitalist firm, and we kind of used that idea to fund everything else we've done. We built. We had the first, in Dearborn, the first electric car charging stations. We put them everywhere. We sold that company. We owned Don V Hookah Lounge, Cigar Lounge. We built it, sold that company. There's probably some I'm missing, but. We had the pool hall on the first pool hall in Dearborn Heights. Now there's like 15. We had the first one. We built that. We sold it. We've done a good job at kind of seeing the trend, and before the trend gets too saturated, we sell. We've built our career off of that, is building businesses and selling them, or investing in businesses that we believe have the potential to be big, and then kind of consulting with the other investors. Hey, let's sell. It's a good time to sell. And that's pretty much what we do. And it's a lot like basketball, because you have to make sure that you're always on, always locked in, right? You got to see a trend coming from 10 miles away that, hey, this might not work in our favor. But you also have to be able to manage and implement things across, for our team, it's, 18 guys. In Florida, it was 40 guys, So you have to be able to manage and keep everybody on track. That has helped me tremendously, because, again, those things force you to grow up. I was 22 years old when this happened, right? So we've done a good job at knowing, I don't want to say seeing the future, but expecting the unexpected and being able to take advantage of that, not only financially, but in our life.
Beautiful. What made you want to go into business after finish from basketball?
So that's a good question. I stopped playing because of COVID. COVID happened. It shut down the whole, all of basketball in Lebanon, here, everywhere. and for like a year, you're kind of itching to get that back, like that adrenaline, that feeling of, hey, I'm doing something, competing with other people. I'm doing something bigger than me. The only way you can really do that outside of sports is in the business world, right? So, and in reality, I had no choice because, I want to get married. I want to start a family.
Yes.
But I was able to use that adrenaline and, that competitiveness from basketball and turn it into businesses. And, I had unbelievable partners and, I don't go into business with anybody other than my dad and my brother. That's a rule that we have. So I had people that could kind of guide me. I'm the youngest, so I'm impulsive. And Hal is there and my dad is there to say, hey, you got to calm down a little bit. Let's really think about this. But that's how I was as a basketball player. I was impulsive. I was reckless. I would take risks. I would, do things that not ordinary basketball players wouldn't do. And that's where coaches come in and kind of, calm things down. They were my coaches in life, and I was able to take advantage of that. And it was just shifting the competitiveness from on the court to off the court. It's that simple.
What do you think allowed you to learn outside of basketball when it came to life? The failures that we've been through, right? There's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
What do you think your mindset was when that failure happened? Like, what was your initial reaction? Okay, this didn't work out. What was your mind going through if something didn't work out for us? Where was your mindset with that? Because I know where mine was, but I want to know where yours was. And how could that help in regards to coaching young men that are trying to be, after they graduate and after they play for you, they're going to go through the same ups and downs in life, right? So what was your mindset when it came to that?
I think the biggest thing for me is the understanding that it can only go up from here. It can't really get worse than this, right? That to me, makes me push through the failures, because you fail, you're rock bottom, right?
You learn from it.
You learn from it. You absolutely learn everything from it. We to this day we talk about failures that we had and how much we learned from, right? But it's the mindset of, hey, it can't really get worse than this. This is rock bottom. If I don't learn from it, I deserve it to fail. And if I do learn from it, the next venture is just going to be more successful. So that's the mindset there. And it's the same thing in basketball. You lose a game, it can't get worse than that, right?
No.
Yeah.
Either win or you lose. The losses stink and the wins are amazing. And having that mentality and learning from that loss and being obsessed again with the process rather than the outcome. Yeah. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in business. And I think that's what allowed us. We made a lot of mistakes. We failed a lot. But we did it from a place of good-heartedness. And I you owe it to your parents, you owe it to your family, you owe it to God that allows you to open up your eyes and see those mistakes you made. And it's no different than on the basketball court.
Chief, I wanted to ask you a question.
God,
When it comes to your business, beautiful salon. First
appreciate
time I've been here. Beautiful place. When it comes to your business, what do you like to improve in this business? Like, what is one thing in your head you're like, you know what, this has to stay consistent? What is that one thing that you like to stay consistent with? Obviously, besides the cut and everything like that, but like, what in your mind allows you to be like, you know what, I want to keep my customers for me. I want to build that relationship. What stands out for you when it comes to that?
My main thing, always, it's timing. I don't let my client waiting. I like to be ready before they come.
Nice.
And when client come 5 minutes late, I don't take them because I don't want to push the next client behind, the one behind.
Good for you. Yeah.
And if I'm late on them, I usually cut them free. If they late on me, they pay for it, they leave. So, and I always make sure and tell every barber I have, relationship with your client, it take you like far. And what's beautiful about it, I know everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I love about my job, and make people feel better.
Yeah.
It's beautiful when somebody goes, oh, who cut you?
Yeah.
and he called me, "Hey, Tief, bro, I just got multiple compliment."
Yeah.
It's funny. I caught a guy 3 days ago. I swear to God, he changed his style, and he does like the line in the front. He said, "I don't wanna." I told him, "Bro, just grow it." So I call him. He look at Tief. I don't know. I'm going to the one. Bro, you trust me or no? He said, "I do, but I don't like this." Bro, just go. Let me style it for you and go. If you're not gonna get compliments, I promise you I won't be working.
Right.
I'll quit. I swear to God, that's what I told him. He's a good-looking guy, and his beard just pop out.
Right.
So when I was cutting him, it was a girl. Like she came, she looked at him. She said, "Tief, how you do this?" He was standing. What? Like his hair nice. He doesn't like compliment from girls at all. He's really religious.
Right.
So he left to the wedding. After the wedding, he called me. He said, "Tief, that haircut, dangerous." I told him, "Why?" He said, 3 girls. One of them, she came to my mom because I was sitting on the table. She told him, "Hey, do you know this guy?" She told, "Yeah, it's my son." "Is he single?" She told him, "Yes."
Oh, wow.
And 2 girls, they walk up to him. Same question, "Bro, who the fuck got you?"
I'm sure you're gonna be invited to the
So he called me, "You know what, bro? Just trust me. Don't worry." I hate. Like not all the haircuts, the hair like nice or the head shape.
Yeah.
When I seen little hair on the video, like after I finished, like I want to record it, and little like I don't like it,
Yeah. You want to make sure it's perfect.
bro. All day I'm gonna be not mad, but I think about it. I never go out of my head. Why this one didn't turn out that good when I want it?
That goes back to him saying you have to be obsessed with something.
Yes.
He's obsessed with basketball. You're obsessed with making sure these guys are looking pristine.
I swear to God.
Leave you to the salon, which is great because now to you, you're like, I need somebody to make sure they look at that person and be like, you know what? He looks perfect. His hair looks perfect.
Bro, I used to have barbers. وحياة الله Mo. So when they finish, "Hey, make sure, take this. Tief, bro, just let him go. We busy. Bro, I don't want him to go. Bro, nobody gonna know except you. But bro, you stubborn. Nobody, I promise you, not even, bro, just do it. It's gonna take you 2 minutes.
Right.
Have you always been this way?
Yes.
Okay. Since 16 years ago when you started?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I love to make everything on point.
Oh, perfect.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, it shows.
Habiba, I appreciate you.
Very nice.
How do your business skills taught you running basketball team?
That's a good question. One of the biggest things is the word delegation, right? Delegating tasks to other people. So, hey, Hassan, I need you to do this. Ahmed, I need you to do this. Jacob, I need you to do this. It's kind of that same way in business, right? I need somebody to do something. For me personally, that was a tough thing for me to do because I always felt like, I'm going to do it the best. But when you're doing 15 things, 20 things that need to be done, it's impossible to do all of them the best, right? And I learned that the hard way. And so instilling that confidence in my staff and, that all came from business, right? Telling guys, that make mistakes, it's okay, let's just learn from it. That came from business. And then using your voice, not only your voice, but your actions to lead. That all comes from business. Me and Ali always say, if we gotta scrub the toilets, we'll scrub the toilets. If we gotta vacuum, we'll vacuum. And everything in between, right? You do what needs to be done as a business owner, and it's the same thing as being a coach. Like you'll never hear me say, or like to my staff or to my players, "Oh, you better listen to me because I'm the head coach." No. If you need laundry, if the guy that's his responsibility is laundry needs help with it, I'm gonna help. That's not below me. I'm not above that. And it's the same thing with basketball, with business. We'll clean. We'll clean the toilets if they need to be cleaned. We'll vacuum the rugs if they need to be vacuumed. In basketball, I'll do the laundry if it needs to be done, and I'll fill up the water bottles and give them to the players if it needs to be done.
What's your pet peeve as a coach? Something that you just dislike. You don't like this from a player. What is it? Could be On the court, off the court, the way it could be anything. What is your pet peeve? You're like, you know what?
For real.
Yeah, I don't like when people do. Like T, I'm sure he doesn't like when somebody leaves hair on some guy's cheek. He's like, oh, it's down here on his cheek. What is your pet peeve?
Man, I think it would be players not talking. I tell my guys all the time.
In what way?
So basketball is all communication on the court. A lot of the times you're in this big arena. It's loud. There's music going. There's people screaming. And the players on the court forget that it's time to talk. We need to talk to each other. I got your help. I got your help. I got this. The communication happens. Sometimes freshmen will come in and think it's like corny to talk, to be very vocal and be loud. Or, because in high school, if you were the loudest guy on the court, people would look at you like, look at this guy, right? In college, and I told this, we had a practice today. I told them right before I came here, I said, I had the freshmen in a circle. I told them, it's lame not to talk. You're a loser if you don't talk. I want them to understand that it's completely different than high school. That's a big pet peeve. Another one is walking on the court. In between those lines, I have a rule. You are never allowed to walk. If you got a fake jog. But don't let me catch you walking. Because in between these lines, it means straight business. Yeah. Right? And I don't care what it is. If you want to pick up, somebody dropped a rubber band, that came off their wrist or something, you better run and do it. If you're going to, we call a huddle, you better run to the huddle. In between those lines, making that separation for players, especially freshmen and sophomores, where their minds are still like, they're a sponge still, right? If I can instill in them that, hey, in between these lines, it's business. You go home every day, T. You relax, you hang out, you watch TV, you do your thing. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you pray, you do your thing. Right when you walk in that door, it's fucking business.
100%.
It's that same thing with that basketball. Right when you step across that line, it's business. Nothing's going to be able to get in the way of me making money. Nothing's going to be in the way of me playing basketball at the highest level I possibly can. And if anything does, those things got to go. It's a distraction.
100%.
That's why you're able to be successful. That's why a team's able to be successful, because all 15 people on the team are on that same page. But T, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
So I have a theory, right, that nobody agrees with. No basketball coach that I have ever met agrees with this theory. And I'm going to tie it into you. I think you're going to agree with me. My belief is that if you haven't done it, you can't teach it. If you haven't played basketball at a high level, you can't teach basketball at a high level. My question for you is, do you believe that somebody that has never cut hair in their life can cut someone's hair good?
Or
teach somebody. Sorry. Do you believe that somebody that never cut hair in their life can be a teacher on how to cut hair? No. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
If they read every book and watched every video and did this and did that, they can never teach.
Well, never.
Why?
First, if you love something, you gotta learn it, and it's not gonna come right away.
Right.
You gotta take long way to get to that level.
Right.
So as a basketball player, you just one day you start shooting and you're playing, or you learn from Ali.
Right.
He drag you, come do this, 1, 2, 3, and you do it from the heart because you want it.
Right.
So
It's the same thing.
yep.
So a lot of people don't agree with me, believe it or not. They say basketball, it's just running around. It's nothing. It's tactical. It's strategy. You know that you gotta put the guard high here, and then you gotta change.
He breaks it.
Right? Does it? There's no line. It's the same thing with basketball.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And people say, they call me crazy because I say if you haven't played basketball at a high level, you shouldn't be able to coach at a high level. And
You said it earlier, like you want players.
I want basketball players, not people that play basketball.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So people play basketball, they don't know about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They know, but they think, I can do it.
Right, yeah.
You know, you cannot do it.
Difference between somebody that cuts hair and somebody that's a barber.
Yep.
There's a difference.
Yep.
I cut hair at one point. Everybody was during COVID. Everybody cut their own hair. Remember?
Yeah, nobody was allowed to leave.
Nobody was allowed. It wasn't good, but I cut hair. I don't go on, Schaefer and Warren and telling people I'm a barber.
100%. So, I always, wallah, I say it. I love all Dearborn Heights. I have a lot of supporters. Without them, I'm not gonna be what I am.
Right.
How many barbers do you know over there?
Off the top of my head, 20,000.
Right? But I promise you, take a couple barbers I really like they know what they doing. The rest, they don't know what they doing.
It's just halmish.
I promise you, if you know about haircut, I mean, now everybody knows about haircut.
Right.
Like if you seen a bad haircut, you're gonna,
Yeah, well, what the hell's going on?
I swear to God, I won Tal Tayyib.
Yeah.
I seen the guy over there, man, how his barber let him go like this. I swear to God.
How'd he let him leave the door, huh?
Man, should I talk to him? Should I not? It's embarrassing. Literally fade the back and it was lying here. And that barber, when he told me who his barber, bro, you've been 25 years barber.
Still doing the same.
You think that guy, he gonna leave your shop, people not gonna look at him?
Right.
So,
Tight.
So I just came to him, bro, your haircut amazing, but just tell your barber, let him blend the one here. He said, are you a barber? I told him, no, I'm a mechanic. I swear, I don't want him to think oh, I want him to come cut with me, or I want to talk shit about
the goodness of your heart.
Yes.
Good intended, right?
But I told him, your beard looks amazing, but tell your barber, let him blend it more. So,
Good for you.
what's one piece of advice you share it with your player?
So, I say this a lot when I'm with the players. I tell them, you're not as good as, you're a lot better than you think you are. Basketball players in general, especially at the level of college and above, are very, very, very hard on themselves, right? Because they're able to take a child's game, right? Basketball kids play it, and they turn it into something that pays for their college, right? That the college is, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. They're able to take a game that you play at the park into, an investment. It's a career investment. So they're very, very hard on themselves, and a lot of them struggle with confidence issues because they expect the highest and the best from themselves. So I always tell them, you're better than you think you are, because I want to instill that confidence to a point where even if a mistake is made, they still remember that, I'm here for a reason. I got to this point playing basketball for a reason. I'm able to wear this jersey for a reason. And I feel like that lesson it follows them throughout life, because there's this thing called imposter syndrome, right? You feel like you're doing something, or you're somewhere and you shouldn't be there, or you don't belong. That's okay in your 20s. But, once you get to 26, 27, you're trying to put a family together, you're trying to get a good job, you're trying to, you're in the running or in the race for an unbelievable job. That guy, no, they're not going to take a chance on somebody that has, that feels like they're an imposter, or they don't have the confidence in themselves. They're going to take the chance of the guy that walks in I know what I'm doing, and I'm here to do it. The best way to instill that confidence is to do it in a sport like basketball. There's so many ebbs and flows and, and mountains and valleys. 1 minute the game loves you, and 1 minute the game hates you. There's no loyalty when it comes to that orange basketball. They don't care who you are. If you do the right thing, it does the right thing. If you do the wrong thing, it does the wrong thing. And sometimes you might do the right thing and, it just doesn't want to cooperate, right? Having confidence during those, moments in your career and your life translate exactly to the real world, and when it comes to getting a job and, providing for your family. So if they can keep the confidence at, a straight, consistent level, when stuff's going bad, I know that when things are going good, they're going to take advantage of that and grasp that. And hopefully that equates to, being successful and being able to raise a family and, getting a good job. So I see the similarities in basketball a lot with life. And that's why I always give them that advice. I say, you guys are better than you think you are.
Beautiful.
Even at their lowest, they're still better than they think they are.
Me, how I build my barbers, I don't tell them you doing good. Like I see him, I tell him what to do. He does it good, but I still tell him, you know what? You don't listen. You gotta do it better.
Right.
What do you think now? Like he see it, he's good and better, but I don't give him too much compliment.
Keep pushing him.
Yes, I don't want him to get confident. Oh, you know what? I'm the shit right now.
Right.
So I always, bro, it's shitty.
Yeah.
They stop asking me. They go to the other barbers. What do you think? Don't show it to Teef because he's gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you shitty. Bro, I'm looking out for you until they get like top notch. Oh, you know what? Like I know you used to do good, but I don't want to give you to let you stop like learning.
Right. You're doing it because you love it.
Yes.
Absolutely. When you and we can relate to this, both of us. When we went from high school to college, we were the number one player in this, in our area. I wouldn't even say in the school, man. In our area,
Yeah.
we were the top dog.
Right.
My year and your year.
Right.
But when I went to college, it was a completely different ballgame.
Different game.
Right? And you said the same thing, because I remember telling you, and you were younger than me, but I still remember saying, like, I'm probably not going to get any playing time today. Right? And I remember when you went to Madonna, you're like, it's just different.
It's different.
It's different. So you had 15 players on your team. What do you tell player 1 to 15 to keep that confidence up? What is your go-to to tell them? And not separate between 1 and 15.
Right.
Because that's your responsibility. What do you tell them?
So we have a player in our team. I'm not going to say his name just because the other players, they're probably going to listen to this. I don't want them to know who I'm talking about. Really good basketball player. One of the best basketball players I've seen with my eyes. That's how good a basketball player he is. So we're a Division II school, right? NAIA school. He had the opportunity to go play at the top schools in the country and said, no, I want to stay in Dearborn. Right?
Wow.
Right. That good. And me and him have an unbelievable relationship. So what I do is before practice, I'll call, I'll say, hey, come to the coach's office really quick. I want to talk to you. And he'll come in. I'll say, look, I'm going to get on you today. And I'm going to scream at you. I'm going to cuss you out. I'm going to do all these things. Just take it. Because if I can yell at you, I can yell at anybody.
100%.
I don't want number 15 to say, oh, he only picks on me. He doesn't pick on, the 3 best players on the team. No. I might do it for different reasons, right? But I'm going to pick on everybody. So that's step 1 for me, is to show them that I'm not messing around. I'm gonna yell at the best player on the team more than I will yell at the worst player on the team. That's step 1. Step 2, it's the job of a coach, especially a head coach, to turn that 15 guys, those 20 guys, into a family. I don't remember who said it, but there's 5 people. If they're not working together, it's weak. So nobody punches like this. Right? You punch like this, you'd probably break a finger.
100%.
You punch together.
Bro, beautiful example.
Right. Right. So the only difference is instead of 5, it's 20. Right? So we got 4 hands now. And it's that same thought process. The guys that are on the bench that are getting no playing time, I was in their shoes. What did I do to get through it? I had the most energy. I screamed the loudest. I was, celebrating with my teammates. That's a crucial part to winning basketball games, just as much as the guy that's scoring 30 points a game. That's just as important. In the situations where I was the best player on the team, I would remember looking at the end of the bench to see if they were celebrating my success. And if they were, man, I feel 10 times better.
100%.
And if they weren't, I'm like, crap, what did I can never do anything right. I'm scoring 30 points a game. We're winning games. This guy is not happy for me. You create a bond with these players, and these players create a bond with themselves. It's kind of like barbers, right? You walk in that morning, and you want to get to this point where it's like, I can't wait to see, the barbers that I'm working with today, because we've just vibed. I enjoy my job. It's the same thing with that. If you're not enjoying it, it's not going to be as successful as you think. I say something to my coaches all the time, and I say it to the guys too. You can't win without having fun. And you can't have fun without winning.
It's true.
You and me.
Right?
100%, bro.
And that's something that I live by. We had training today. You know, we huddle up and we talk to each other. Hey, this is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to do this. I say 3 things at the end. I want you to have energy. I want you to scream. I want you to do this. I want you to be locked in, focus on what we're doing, and I want you to smile. And you know, it's a weird thing to say, right? Because this is like a sport, a serious sport. But I never want them to forget that this is a child's game. This is a game that children play on the streets. You're able to do it at this high of a level, you should be happy with yourself. Don't make it feel like a job that you hate. I want you to be excited to come to practice. I want you to be excited to put your jersey on and your fresh shoes. You remember when we were kids, we would put the clothes for the next day on the bed, like we were so excited to show off our outfit. Yeah. I want those guys to have that feeling when it comes to basketball. And that all starts from coaches. If the coaches are making your life, you know, your career miserable, you'll never be successful because you're never having fun. You'll never win games because you're never having fun. And you'll never, you know, be at the point where this is something that people can be proud of. Never. You'll never get to that. And that's my fear. And I'll never let it get to me, and I'll never become that type of person because I got my brother, I got my dad, I got my family, I got my friends. If it stops being fun, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm not going to do something I hate. And I want them to feel that same way. And I instill that love into them.
So, Mo, we appreciate you for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
I wish you best of good luck.
Thank you.
I mean, 25 years head coach, it's insane.
Huge. I appreciate it.
I hope you're going to be one of the stars. And we're going to be proud of, you know, at least I know Moe Bazzi. Shit, he made it.
Well, now we say we know
Teef.
I appreciate you.
Let me, before we finish.
Go ahead.
COVID, right? It's COVID time. Everybody's sitting at home. Everybody's playing video games. Me and my friends are watching, you know, we suck at video games. So we watch the people that are good at video games, try to be like them, right? A guy named Nick Merckx, right? We're Nick Merckx fans, right? He's from our area. He used to talk about forts and everybody would get cool, right? Fast forward 2 years, not even 2 years later, maybe a year and a half later, 2 years later, something like that. Everybody knows who Teef is. I don't have a personal relationship with Teef, but I know who he is, right? He's a popular barber in the area. I mean, people love him. Everybody talks about him. Somebody sends me on Instagram, Barber Teef is cutting Nick Merckx's hair. You talk about worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, what in the heck is happening here? So I just wanted to say that from my memory, you are one of the first people to cut someone's hair where I was like, whoa, he's cutting this guy's hair.
I appreciate it.
And that speaks to, you know, how obsessed you are, like we were talking about, but also how good you are at what you do.
I appreciate you. Thank
you
so much.
I didn't want to end this without telling you that.
And I just want to add one more thing. We came in before we went live on this podcast. And I've never met you. We've never met you. Just by the hour that we had before we go on live, we understood what kind of individual you are. You are a pure-hearted person, a good intended person.
I appreciate you.
Inshallah, this barbershop is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger.
I appreciate you.
You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Well, to Mo, like I told Teef, I didn't want to be a part of this.
He did.
But
I forced him.
I didn't want to. But
That's the reason why.
I know, but still, this is your time, and I'm proud of you. And I just want to say, as your older brother, I am proud to be your brother. And you continue to make all of us proud, from our parents to my sister, to my kids, to all of our family members, to Hajray. And I'm sure he's going to be watching this.
The guy, Hajray.
The man. But I want to just tell you, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And Allah's going to bless you more and more and more, because you are also a pure intended person. And you have pure intentions for the people that you deal with. And I'm very, very proud of you. And I hope, and I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. And I just hope that you keep climbing that ladder, because you deserve it. But I appreciate you too.
And wallah, my skin. Yes, you know why?
From the heart.
You know why? Because like I love like close brother, bro.
Yeah.
You
There's nothing like it.
You can't find it now.
No, nothing like it.
Like a lot of people, but most people they don't like his brother. Bro, it's your blood.
Bless.
It's your blood. You know who put these like in both of you, or me and my brother? I will die for my brother.
Yeah.
I always tell, whatever I have, I swear to God, if he told me, sign everything, to me and you're gonna be $0. I don't even have
how
to
we are.
think twice.
That's how we are.
Who put that?
Yeah.
Your mom.
Yeah.
You're
100%.
absolutely right.
Your dad teach,
Right.
but your mom keep injection you with like love and حنية and
In Arabic شو بيقولوا الأم بتلم.
yes.
She keeps everything together.
خيمة على البيت.
100%.
Man, so God bless your mom.
Alhamdulillah.
I mean, serious.
Allah يرحم your mom.
Thank you so much, wallah. I love to see like people like that, and thank you guys. I mean,
Chief, you're a brother now too, so it's all of us.
of course,
Absolutely.
wallah, these podcasts like inspire a lot of people, teach a lot of people. From Mo, like his experience, from you,
100%.
from anybody.
Right.
So that's why we doing it.
Whatever you need from us, we're here for you.
I appreciate you, Mo. I need you. Other one I'm gonna do with Lamar Woodley, the football player.
That'll be cool.
That would be amazing.
That'll be cool.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming, Habibi, and good luck.
Amen.
Aloush, thank you, Habibi.